Hello, everyone. Back with the X10 of Swords event. We're on chapter 4 of X of Swords. Now, I have skimmed this comic through, but I wanted to try something new with this, so we're going to try a somewhat of a blind reading through it, where I go ahead and give my collective thoughts as I read through the issue. It's just a testing thing. I just wanted to test it with X Force issue issue 13, part of the whole Dawn of X event and 10 of Swords event. So, we open up with a quote of darkness and bloody murder, essentially. Killing is a truth. A sword is a piece of art, and killing an enemy with a sword is the truest art. But every time you walk away the victor, your sword should feel heavier with the weight of a lost soul. This is the burden of the sharpest steel. The Silver Samurai once said this. We then cut to Japan. Its Yomi Temple celebrates the underworld, but it's become something more than a place of prayer. It's a marriage of two worlds. Gateway to hell. I spent the last 24 hours talking to every last friend and enemy in Japan. I didn't believe what they told me, not until I saw it myself. I've always known Mamarsa as a madman, but a madman of honor? Why would he serve the dark? How did he become the swordsmith and a servant and sacrifice of? As Wolverine unloads his claws and reveals the hand. So yeah, his old buddy the swordsman is apparently a servant of the hand. So now they got that on his throat. So now Krakoa probably has the hand next eventually. This is continuing off the pages of Wolverine. So it's with the same writer and artist, so everything's still consistent on that front. So the Hand is now battling Wolverine in X of Swords, issue 13, chapter 4. Or written by Benjamin Percy. Head of X is Jonathan Hickman. Alex Ross variant is The Beast. Ten of Swords. The champions of Krakoa and Arako were selected to each retrieve a special sword to participate in a contest. That's aka Mortal Kombat for the Fate of Worlds. Wolverine of Krakoa and Solomon of Arako were both among the chosen and tasked with obtaining a blade from Master Swordsman Mamasa. Wolverine has followed Mamasa's trail all the way down to hell. And the main characters are Wolverine, showing his adamantium skeletal structure, Solomon, the guy who is probably the most perfect example of why the justice system has completely failed, and Mamasa, who is currently being sacrificed. So Wolverine decides to battle the Hand. And one of their faces is revealed while he claws them is the skeletal / meat sack without the skin. There's something other than men beneath these masks. What have you gotten yourself caught up in, Mamasa? Disappointed me, Logan-san. But the Hand threatened to destroy my ancestral village if I didn't help them build an arsenal. I made them metal for the same reasons you will fight for Krakoa. We're trying to protect the home that we love. So he has altruistic reasons for being serving of the devil. I didn't know when I once finished outfitting their armory above that they would require me below. The Hand once worshipped the beast from the distance of a shrine in a prayer. Now they are one, forged into a new kind of weapon. Did you know, Logan-san, that the Tamakashi, whatever, I can't pronounce it, is the metal used by Japanese swordsmiths? As this voiceover is explaining, as Logan falls into the lava of hell. Before the blue steel is sharpened to the keen edge, before its hilt is fitted, and its profile is shaped, before its blade thickens. Thickness is settled upon, and before it's beaten in full. Iron sand must be smelted and refined with coal, a process of purification that purges all the unwanted elements, and that requires unbearable heat. And we see him currently going ahead and looking all ghoulish, while he's creating the ultimate sword of death. There is no better forge than hell, because there's no greater blast furnace than hell. And the adamantium skeletal Wolverine is being confronted by basically little demons of the Hand. As the sword creator explains, if I am a prisoner of this place, at least I can take comfort and pride knowing there will never be a better blade in existence. I have long been considered the greatest swordsmith of the world. Clang! but now I am the greatest swordsman within all the world. And again, he starts sharpening the blade when he says, but I must make haste, because it's almost time for the ceremony. Later, in Hellhole, well, I'm certainly glad we found each other, even if the accommodations are rather substandard. I'm so curious about you, especially your ability to regenerate. Are you unkillable, then? Yeah, Wolverine's adamantium flesh is being reformed because, it's Wolverine's regenerative abilities. These, as Solomon just goes ahead and seems amused by this. The two of us were clearly meant for each other, as best friends or worst enemies. How about this? How about while you do your thing, I keep us entertained by telling you how I got here. Like everything about me, it's fascinating. My name is Solomon. It's possible you've heard of me. And it's certain you'll never forget me. My quest began on the blind island off the coast of Araco. I was charged with seeking out the Malasa blade. This name meant nothing to me, so I traveled to a place where the riddles are answered, the Oracle of Araco. I sense that you want information about the source of Malasa. There is a cost. There is always a cost. But of course, if I am not mistaken, you're banished to this island no thanks to your sister Morton Zhang. Will her severed head suffice, or would you like me to fetch the rest of her? Ah, so he killed his sister. Okay, that's it. And this is what she says. How did you know what I would ask of you? As he throws the head onto the ground, you don't have to be an oracle to know how to seduce someone. Mormasa is dead, but there's still a way to find him. The blade? Anyone bit by that blade will go straight to hell. Hell is where you'll find him. I'm afraid my ego is far too massive to consider suicide, my dear. It is a key that opens the door to hell. This is where you will find a mutant made of metal. A mutant who will serve as your guide. So here I am, so here you are, and here I am, back into the present. Now, take me to my sword, little man. And Logan gets up. Up as Solomon says, well, now do you have your tongue? What do you have to say? I say go to hell, but we're already there. You ain't the only one hunting for the blade. As Wolverine unleashes his claws, am I hearing you correctly? Will the unkillable champion of Krakoa face off against the unbeatable champion of Araco? I do love the idea, even if I dislike the terms of the engagement. If that's true, forged with hellfire. Don't bother. Then maybe I should just kill you now. Yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense. And then Wolverine tries to kill Solomon, but yeah, that proves to be futile. Turns out that he's adamantium enforced. Realizing Wolverine just says, your skin's adamantium? How the hell is that possible? Think of it as a microfibrous version of chainmail. We could touch it if you like. Shall we be on our way then, bestowing the keys to the prison? Marasa is waiting. What kind of game are you playing, bub? A deadly one, to be sure. Yeah, I'm actually liking their camaraderie. I feel like they could, like he mentions, he could be the best of friends and the worst of enemies with this. So, best friend, better enemies kind of angle. So we get more text pages regarding the Everforge origin. Okay, it's involving basically a feudal kingdom of cybernet warriors who defend their land. In Fury is the site of one of the greatest weapons forges in all reality. And in reality, where the sun-dwelling celestial threatened all of existence, it took the disciple and hero-slaying expertise of the Furies to subdue the celestial when no one else could. Ah, so the female Furies are part of the Marvel Universe. Lashing into the star where it dwelt in the trap it in place, the celestial fused with the energy there and formed the hottest structure in the known universe, the living sun star. Rather than entrust such a volatile thing to the reality's defeated heroes, the Furies slew them all for their failure and took it with them back to Otherworld. There, they took a province by force and founded their home by bedding the living sun star into the ground itself and forming a Fia, the Everforge. Weapons forged at the heart of the living sun star are unbreakable and some of the finest in all reality. However, the presence of a sun in the center of their nation makes it a hard country indeed, and more unbearable as one nears the central forge itself. But worth it for some of the finest blades in creation, forged by the greatest hero killers of all time. So they have a monopoly on the market. Lava, heat, and flame are all parts of the land here. But the disciple of the theories, I don't know why I keep saying furries for some reason, makes it lovable by a highly strict code. Land is passed down through centuries and contracts are sealed in blades and blood. The code of the theories is a regimen of pain, both given and received, and their resistance is discomfort that makes them expert smiths indeed. So they're partially Jedi, where they believe in torturing Padawans as part of a trials of flesh. I went there. So we cut back to in the Hellforge, where we see Solomon and Wolverine saying this. Trace of heat, he's not far. You say this group, the Hand, has enslaved him. They've always worshipped the beast, but something's changed. They've leveled up. How so? Rip their masks off one. Look less like a man, look more like a skull with two candles burning inside it. Possessed. The lines are dissolving everywhere then. Krakoa is Arako. Oh, and Arako is Krakoa. The Hand is the beast, and the beast is the Hand. Marriage is in the air. And we see this marriage in holy matrimony going on as the devil's forces essentially are meeting with two people. We are here to celebrate the union of my red left hand and my red right hand. Yes, my hands shall join in holy matrimony as I... What's the end game here? I've kind of lost track. I mean, why are my hands getting married? There he is. You'll have to be more specific. That demonic sack of flesh or member of the faceless horde? Now we welcome our presentation of swords. Marasa. And the blades are raised into the air, revealing two blades. Aids to the married couple. For you, I put my very soul into them. Two swords? Guess we don't have to kill each other over who goes home with steel. We can share, strip them down, and gear up. I would hate to show up to a wedding underdressed. It's just bad form. Wolverine just growls, kind of obvious. This marriage heralds a new dawn, a red dawn. And as such, we will all call ourselves Wolverines and copyright it. Between human and demon, we shall make the finest half-red demon in history. The one I call my daughter, and the one I shall claim as my son. You may consummate your union with a kiss of steel. And they do it by stabbing Mimasa with the blades. And before they can consummate the marriage even further, Solomon just goes ahead and throws his hell knife, essentially. He's saying, I have something for the happy couple. And it's a damned good gift, if I do say so myself, and stabs one of the hands. And, I'll take that. You kill my husband, and then steal his sword? For this there will be hell to pay. And then she cuts through his chest and through the adamantium skin. Your heart will bleed as mine does. Impossible, and yet possible. Look at you helping a friend in need. As Wolverine saves his life. Forgot to mention something, tough guy. Hey, Mimasa blades can cut through adamantium. No, my marriage is lost. My sword won't be too. And Wolverine tries to kill her before the devil whatever sack of flesh tries to go ahead and basically get pissed over the marriage. This is a transgression beyond sin. Hell will never forget. And my hands were going to be married. I have both katanas. As Solomon speaks as he examines them. I've killed the groom, stabbed the bride, and could easily bend you to this demonic wedding party. But I have a feeling I'll admit I'm feeling generous. You helped me get this far after all. I know. Why would I help you? If we're potentially going to face each other in the contest. If my flesh can be breached by one of those blades. And the answer is, I'm a good, fair, generous person. So, wanna buy a blade, little man? And as Wolverine stabs the demonic head eater, what do you want for it? And the Marissa blade is being analyzed with this. One day, when he was just a boy, he pretended to heat a stick into a sword. He slashed and fented and stabbed as he worked his way along the rice paddy and through the forest. A wind-blown clump of maiden grass was attacking the samurai. The clouds were looming dragons when a flash of green rose up before him. He swatted it on instinct and felled a bird known as Miro, a Japanese white-eye. He strode over its fluttering body until it went still. A bubble of blood emerged from its open beak and burst. He cupped its still warm body into his hands and wept. He apologized for the life he had stolen, and then something escaped his carcass, a mist-like essence, soul. It hung in the air as if waiting for him. He waved a hand through it and felt a cold pulse as it gloved his skin, clinging to him, because it belonged to him. When he picked up the stick, the soul soaked from his grip into the wood, hardening it with a creak and moan. It was alive, he understood. Inhabited, strengthened, and when he swung the stick again and brought it down nearby a boulder, the stone shattered. This is part of the secret history tab, but according to the weight, it's 1,421 grams. Blade length is 80 centimeters. Material, leather, souls, and whatnot, and forged in hell. Well, the forging. When Mimasa makes any weapon, whether a katana or a shuriken, a warfan or armor, he does so with the care of an artist. I am an artist. But in some cases, some very special cases, he elevates his art to the level of sorcery by investing a soul into the metal. This wielding of steel and soul is a folding and smelting of the earthen and spiritual planes. It's an elemental merger, a key between worlds. And it also made a deal made with death. A soul, or a portion thereof, has been harvested. Nothing hungers for, it aims to spike the living like the dead. His blade wounds like no other. And mentions hell. The realms of the dead have been slighted by Mimasa. He is a thief many times over as a keeper of souls. The devils gnash their teeth and click their claws, because he owns them an immortal debt. And there is one, the beast, who wants that debt repaid in servitude. So he's trying to basically be Shang Shun, except Shang Shun would be getting his just desserts every time he stole a soul. Then we cut to Krakoa later, where Wolverine seems to have made a deal. Oh, he emerges from the portal and he says, I have my sword, but it came with a price. He speaks as he went ahead and pierced the sword into the standing ritual. Only time will tell if it was worth the cost. And joining Manic with her blade into the ground. So I just got a question. Are they just supposed to stay there until everyone comes? Because if so, that's probably going to be a while. So let's hope they brought snacks. And thus ends X-Force number 13, Chapter 4 of the 10 of Swords event. We will be covering Marauders, Hellions, Mutants, Cable, Excalibur, X-Men, and Swords and 10 of Swords Stasis, number 1, as the videos go by, as we try to catch up with everything. But, yeah, this was a pretty good, solid issue for this. A continuation of the Wolverine issue 6. And I get, like, Logan is very doubtful about Krakoa's intentions, but he feels like it is for something worth fighting for because it's a home they can finally call their own instead of being, persecuted by humans because humans suck, basically. So, yeah, Logan was pretty awesome in this, and I love the added flavor of what they put in here. I don't know if it was already established or if it was, because I'm not really that deep in Marvel continuity like I am with DC, but it is a pretty good story of learning more about Logan's past and everything. It's always fun, especially when you know the bare basics of it when you watch the movies. So the artwork's pretty consistent with the last issue since it's by the same artist, and Salman's just awesome. It's just hilarious. But But we are curious what this price is. I think this was Hickman's idea of like, hey, let's have this ending where we pull a favor, where we do the more my long-term game aim and build it up for later for something else in the Wolverine books. So something tells me this will be revealed after the Ten of Swords event, and probably someone so will probably survive, depending on things. But oh man, I wonder if they'll be buddies if they somehow survive the event, or reluctant partners. Like Logan doesn't like him, but Solomon's just like having fun with it. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how that wedding went because it went completely disastrous. Uh, so we'll see how that goes. So these were my thoughts on Ten of Swords, Chapter 4, X Force issue 13. And this was Neo Reality and channel. So if you like, comment, subscribe, and donate, stay tuned for more. And I'll see y'all next time. Raise your swords.